It started with a dinner, a simple honor from the U.S. Coast Guard meant to celebrate one of their own, a man who had worn the uniform with pride and had become a TV icon. But instead of gratitude and applause, it ended in shouting, scandal, and a permanent goodbye. This is the explosive true story of how Jack Lord's towering ego got Zulu fired from Hawaii Five-0. In 1968, when Hawaii Five-0 premiered, it was more than just a new cop show. It was an introduction to America's newest state. Hawaii had only been part of the Union for 9 years, and most Americans knew it through tourist postcards or military service. Producer Leonard Freeman wanted something different. With encouragement from Hawaii's Governor John Burns and a clever title suggestion from Freeman's mother-in-law, the series was born. Originally pitched as The Man, it became Hawaii Five-0, a nod to the 50th state. The pilot, Cocoon, aired as a 2-hour TV movie, first in Honolulu and then in New York. Test audiences didn't like the original actor for Dano, so Freeman replaced him with James MacArthur, fresh off Hang 'em High. Jack Lord stepped in as Steve McGarrett, bringing a commanding presence that would soon dominate more than just the screen. Lord's McGarrett was intense, fearless, and unrelenting, qualities that bled off screen as well. Though Stuart Whitman, Gregory Peck, and Richard Boone were all considered for the role, it was Lord who got the part, flying to Hawaii with barely a week's notice and taking the helm in more ways than one. Once in Hawaii, he became more than just the star. He became an institution. Lord moved to the islands, gave to local charities, and gained near political stature. But behind the scenes, his grip on the show tightened with each season. Freeman's unexpected death in 1974 left a power vacuum, and Lord stepped in to fill it. With a contract that gave him control over creative decisions and a third of the show's profits, he became both star and shadow producer. He directed multiple episodes, had a hand in writing scripts, and reportedly overruled network executives regularly. By then, his say was final, and that's where trouble began. Zulu, born Gilbert Lani Kauhi, was a proud Hawaiian, former Coast Guard serviceman, and a beloved cast member as Kono. A natural comedian and a cultural ambassador of sorts, Zulu brought authenticity and charisma to the role, but by season 4, cracks were forming. The U.S. Coast Guard approached CBS with an idea: honor Zulu at a special event. CBS agreed, but when Jack Lord got wind of it and realized he wasn't part of the honor, he threatened to quit the show. Yes, really. Lord, who had never served in the Coast Guard, demanded he be included. CBS, ever fearful of losing their star, gave the Coast Guard an ultimatum: either honor both men or cancel the event. Not wanting to dilute the tribute to one of their own, the Coast Guard backed out. The fallout was immediate and tragic. CBS sent a publicist, who happened to be Jewish, to break the news to Zulu. Overcome with rage and heartbreak, Zulu lashed out in a barrage of anti-Semitic slurs. The outburst happened on set, in front of stunned crew members who had no idea what prompted it. Zulu fled in tears. Word quickly reached the top. Leonard Freeman may have been gone, but CBS wasn't about to weather a scandal. Zulu received a phone call: "Don't come back." Just like that, Kono was gone. Years later, Zulu told a softer version at a fan convention, saying he had simply called his agent from South America and quit. But insiders knew the truth. Even Jack Lord himself remained tight-lipped about the firing. But it was clear: ego had collided with honor, and ego won. The firing sent shockwaves through the cast. Calm Fong, who played Chin Ho Kelly, stayed on until season 10, when his character was killed off. Fong had wanted a more graceful exit, but was convinced that a dramatic death meant no one else could ever play Chin Ho. His own backstory was just as gripping. He was a real Honolulu police officer who had lost his wife and children in a World War II plane crash before turning to acting. Before we continue, a quick shout out to Perfect Fifth. They've got some incredible old school music inspired graphic tees like this VU meter design. capturing that perfect analog vibe, or this melting vinyl sunset, a minimalist ode to the golden era of vinyl. And this Star Strings and Stripes, a rock and roll twist that's perfect for the Patriots. And for Golden Throwback viewers, they're giving you an exclusive 20% off with the code THROWBACK20. Check out the link in the description. Now, back to the video. Behind the camera, the challenges were just as intense. The early seasons were filmed in a rusting Quonset hut nicknamed Mongoose Manor, plagued by rats and leaking roofs. Still, the crew persevered. Fort Ruger became their home base for much of the show's run before production moved to a new studio built at Diamond Head. Filming in Hawaii wasn't just a creative choice, it was an economic one, pumping millions into the local economy and launching the island into pop culture stardom. Jack Lord's perfectionism was legendary. He clashed with directors, demanded multiple takes, and refused to let anyone, not even network brass, override him. His obsession with quality often slowed production, but also gave the series its trademark polish. He had nearly played Captain Kirk on Star Trek, but lost out to William Shatner after demanding half the show's profits. Ironically, he would end up getting a third of 5-0's earnings and directing several episodes himself. He was also fiercely protective of the show's image. According to some reports, Lord even influenced how co-stars were portrayed in the press and what storylines made it to air. His insistence on control helped keep the series consistent, but also created an atmosphere where creative tension simmered constantly. Hawaii 5-0 was filmed entirely on location, a choice Lord fought for against the network's wishes. It helped cement Hawaii as a TV destination and funneled over $100 million into the local economy. But that wasn't enough to smooth over Lord's difficult reputation. He demanded final script approval, was rumored to clash with nearly every co-star, and even turned down a guest role on Magnum P.I., which was created to make use of 5-0's production facilities. The show's legacy lives on in syndication and in the successful 2010 reboot. And of course, there's the theme song, composed by Morton Stevens and later a top 5 hit for the Ventures. And that iconic catchphrase, "Book 'em Dano." Jack Lord came up with it himself based on a childhood friend named Dan. But perhaps no story encapsulates the real drama of Hawaii 5-0 more than Zulu's firing. It had all the ingredients: pride, betrayal, and a power struggle that spilled far beyond the soundstage. In the end, it wasn't just a fictional crime that broke a team apart, it was real human ego. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Jack Lord was justified in his actions, or did his ego go too far? Let us know in the comments below and keep chasing the classics with us.